The illegal felling of the iconic Sycamore Gap tree on Hadrian's Wall led to an outpouring of emotion from people around the world.
Yeah, I mean, that image there, sorry, just directly behind us there, everybody knows that image one way or another.
Well,
and you
from
maybe didn't
films.
realise it at the time, did you? And it really made an impact on people. 2 people remain on bail after the tree was chopped down last September in what police say was a deliberate act of vandalism.
However, it could live on. Horticulturists from the National Trust have successfully grown the first seedlings from that felled tree. Our reporter Harriet Bradshaw can explain.
At a top-secret location in Devon, a site of biosecurity, where the National Trust is protecting the legacy of the nation's most famous trees. I've been invited to witness history, hope for the future of the Sycamore Gap tree.
A lot of people might think, well, it's just a sycamore, a sycamore, but it is a really important sycamore.
The Sycamore Gap tree, Northumberland, a place described by some as sacred. But it was cut down last September, which police are investigating, and what followed was a national outpouring of emotion.
Everyone seems to have a story about how they connect to the tree. Some people being proposed to underneath it, other people just saw it as a waymarker on their journey from one place to the other. Others have seen it in the film, the Robin Hood film, and even people who've never actually been there before seem quite emotionally connected to it as well.
And yet, there are signs of life. In a race against time, the National Trust managed to rescue seeds from the felled tree, and now they're growing.
Within this mini greenhouse, within this secret greenhouse, is a tiny little seedling. And this was the first of the Sycamore Gap's seeds to pop up. And the team here say when they saw this growing, they knew there was hope.
But raising seedlings isn't the only way the tree's legacy can be preserved.
We spliced that one in there. So this is true genetic material from the Sycamore Gap tree.
Chris Trimmer used a technique called grafting to grow shoots from the last surviving living twigs of the Sycamore Gap tree itself. He was on duty when bits of the tree arrived by post, and 9 of the 20 grafts are now showing signs of life.
I think there's a great deal of relief. It is a race against time because obviously once you cut a tree down, it's physically dying straight away. There's a lot of pressure on us to actually get the thing growing. Luckily we did.
The grafting of the Sycamore Gap materials would have looked something like this. Juliet Stubbington shows me the process using a different tree.
Why was it important to be doing this with the Sycamore Gap?
This is the only way that we would kind of preserve that genetic strain from Sycamore Gap. This method means that we've actually used the original material from that tree, so we've got a genetic clone.
So basically, the Sycamore Gap can live on of the tree?
Yeah, it is the same tree.
This conservation centre isn't open to the public because of the rare heritage plants being protected and conserved here.
This is the Hall of Fame of all the stars of our gardens.
Wow, look at that!
The National Trust has preserved other iconic trees here in case something should happen to the originals.
If a storm came along or a disease, we actually have a complete replica that we can just replace, which is amazing. So Isaac Newton's apple tree. And in fact, if there was an apple here, you might want to sit underneath it just to test that theory of gravity.
Could this be where the Sycamore Gap saplings go?
Exactly. Just imagine 50 sycamores growing underneath here.
When they've grown up, the National Trust says it'll be the community and the nation who decide where they're planted. There is also a chance the tree may just regrow from the stump left behind, with rangers watching for signs of life. For now, seeds of hope, protecting the legacy of the Sycamore Gap tree for future generations. Harriet Bradshaw, BBC News,